Yeah, I follow thanks to Jenny, I follow the template she provided us. I was thinking of what else should I add from this one. I did a little of uh, um, changes on this template, and by we will see what changes I have on this one. So let me start. The verse I have chosen is in Matthew chapter 5, verse 5. It says there in New Living Translation, "Blessed are the humble, for they will inherit the whole earth." And for part one, well, before proceeding, we all know that this verse comes from one of the preaching, um, one of the things Jesus taught the people in the Beatitude. So by and by, we will learn more of. If we continue on in our personal study, we will see a lot more. So in part one, breaking down the Greek word for word by word, I have it. I have written it in English. It says makarioi oi, praise, poti autoi, um, klerono, mesusin, and gen. Okay. So these are the Greek word as highlighted, makarioi, and which for the its definition, first it's an adjective in nominative muscular um, plural. It says blessed and also happy, also fortunate, supremely blessed, and well off. Whereas ahoy, it means it is an article of the. The other forms include ho and he. For the phrase, it is also an adjective, which means meek, humble, mild, gentle, and maybe some more. I'm short of a definition. And oti, it is a conjunction for the English word of for. And for otoy, it is a personal possessive pronoun, nominative, masculine, third person, plural, for they in English. And the cleronomes susin, it is a verb. It is a future indicative active third person plural, which means in English, will inherit or obtain, possess by inheritance. And for the Greek word then, it is an article uh, in English word D. And for gen, it is noun, meaning earth or soil. So this is a really simple Greek words that with easy English meaning and not so hard for us to understand. No need for us to go deeper, except maybe for the word Meek. And for the keyword study with Thayer's Greek lexicon plus concordance, the word praise, the original word is, the root word is praus, meaning mild and gentle. Um, Tires find it difficult to translate the root word, which means more than meek. Biblical weakness is not, biblical meekness is not weakness, but rather refers to exercising God's strength under His control. I'm reading it, so just go along with me. That is demonstrating power without undue harness. The English term meek often lacks this blend, that is, of gentleness, reserve, and strength. Personal thoughts in many places in the world today, people see meekness as a sign of weakness. This is my personal thoughts, and that those people are easy target for abuses and ridicule. So even when someone is really weak or poor or helpless, he will not show it outside. He will make all the pretensions that he is not weak and in need until maybe he's at his final end. But the word praise is strength in Matthew 5:5, not from the person himself, but from God above. Strength to endure hardship and even strength in the face of death. Meekness is like gentleness, a sign of total surrender to the King and total dependence on Him. The Lord will provide the very same words Abraham said to Isaac when he was about to offer him to the Lord. So I'm trying to make it short. That's why I'm reading it and not adding something else. So, but you can ask me questions if you want some clarification. Uh, I'll go ahead in part two, a commentary and inspiration. I hope that we'll able to get something from this because I'll be asking you sometime later. In Eliot's commentary, it says the word praise. To him, it means the meek. The word so rendered was probably used by Saint Matthew in its popular meaning, without any reference to the definition which ethical writers have given of it. But it may be worthwhile to recall Aristotle's account of it as the character of one who has the passion of resentment under control, and who is therefore tranquil and untroubled, as in part determining the popular use of the word, and in part also explaining the attitude. So to him, meekness is um, more uh, more equated with resentment under control. The person has resentment, but he is putting it under control. For Benson's commentary, Matthew 5:5, blessed or happy are the meek, persons of a mild, gentle, long-suffering, oh sorry, person of a mild, gentle, long-suffering, and forgiving disposition, who are slow to anger and averse from wrath, not easily provoked, and if at any time at all provoked, soon pacified, who never resent an injury, nor return evil for evil, but make it their care to overcome evil with good, who by the sweetness, affability, court, courteousness, and kindness of their disposition, endeavor to reconcile such as may be offended, and to win them over to peace and love. Well, that's Benson's, and I like it. I like this uh, definition or commentary from Benson. From Jamison Moses Brown's, this verse this promise to the meek is but a repetition of Psalms 37:11. Would you like me to look into it? 37, Psalms 37:11.
I could probably read it too.
Yes, sure, please. Can you read it for us?
But the meek will inherit the land and enjoy great peace.
Yeah. Amen. They will possess the land and will live in peace and prosperity. Wow. Okay, the promise to the meek is but a repetition of Psalms 37:11. Only the word which our evangelist renders the meek after the Septuagint is the same which we have found so often translated the poor, showing how closely allied these two features of character are. It is impossible indeed that the poor in spirit and the mourners in Zion should not at the same time be meek. That is to say, persons of a lowly and gentle carriage. Bengals, the meek are seen everywhere to yield to the importunity of the inhabitants of the earth. And yet, they shall obtain possession of the earth, not by their own arm, but by inheritance through the aid of the Father. As a human attribute, Aristotle, oh, Vincent, sorry. As a human attribute, Aristotle defines it as the mean between stubborn anger and that negativeness of character, which is inescapable of even righteous indignation, according to which it is tantamount to equanimity. Plato opposes it to fierceness of or cruelty and uses it of humanity to be condemned, but also of the conciliatory demeanor of a demagogue seeking popularity and power. Pindar applies it to a king, mild or kind to the citizens, and to Herodotus uses it as opposed to anger. So that's are some of the commentaries coming from well-known commentators of Bible and notes to glean from the commentaries. From Eliot's, I underlined resentment under control. You can see it's underlined. Benson's is forgiving disposition. Jamison, Fawcett, Brown's, it's of persons of lowly and gentle carriage. In Bengal's, I underlined yield to the opportunity. And to Vincent's, lastly, equanimity. So instead of me explaining all this, I would request that each one of us share something about our thoughts with Elliot, whichever you can choose one in any of these five. You can choose one. But once you can, if one wants resentment under control and you also want, and another wants resentment under control, there's no problem. We can make comments on this. So that's our thoughts, our personal thoughts, how we can equate it with meekness or humble in verse 5 of Matthew 5. Did you get me?
I have a question. What does the word
Equanimity?
that mean? Never heard that word before.
Oh, it's something like self-control.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, self-control, humble. Yeah, it's more like that. Super humble, not just humble. Super
Got it.
humble. Yeah. Sometimes people are humble in one situation and not on another, but this one is super.
Uh-huh.
Mm. So
I think it means more like calmness and composure.
yes, yes, calmness.
Not necessarily humility. Yeah, just
Calmness, did you say, Keisha?
yeah,
Yes,
like
calmness.
composure. Like you're equanimous with the world, kind of. I know it from yoga.
Oh,
Yeah, when you,
interesting.
it's also self-control, right?
Self-control?
I
Yeah.
don't, not necessarily. Like more like calmness in a bad situation, um, which can mean self-control, but more like you're at peace with the world, kind of.
You're at peace.
Yeah,
You're calm.
at
Yeah.
peace with the
You have
world.
no worries.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyone would like to share your thoughts?
That's interesting.
Thanks, Kisha.
Well, I had one thought on Benson's. It's saying people of a mild, gentle, long-suffering, and forgiving disposition,
Uh-huh.
who are slow to anger and averse from wrath, not easily provoked, if at any time at all provoked, soon pacified. So that sort of led me to think of how health is supposed to be promoted when we are forgiving and forgive others. Because when we forgive others, we don't carry that burden around ourselves, and that could provoke that could cause even our health to worsen if we don't forgive. If we return evil for evil, because you're harboring negative emotions inside. And really, you should do what Jesus did, which is, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. So you give it to the Lord, and you pray for your enemy, and you don't hate them. You forgive them. There was a book actually. Somebody suggested to me one time, which is a really great book on forgiveness, which is called Total Forgiveness, and it's by R.T. Kendall. Kendall. And he basically dissects forgiveness, and he says if you forgive the person, you don't make out that the person is right necessarily, and but you give it all to the Lord. And of course Jesus says, if your enemy is hungry, feed him, or thirsty, give him something to drink. I think, and it says something like that.
Yeah.
So in that way, you're heaping burning coals on his head or something like that. So.
Oh, that's nice. That's why I underlined this one. So, anyone else?
Okay, well, I guess I can say something. I think this is a really, this is like one of those very good examples of when studying the Greek is good, because I think the English word meek just really is not enough, because meek definitely doesn't include all of those other qualities that you mentioned, that were mentioned in the commentaries, like a high character,
Yeah.
could kind of come off as cowardly sometimes. So I think this is a good one to select. Like, this word is good, because I think some people, I don't know, some people, they have a misconception of Christians, maybe, that Christians are weak. You know what I mean? Like pushovers and stuff. Like you hit one cheek and then get the other, stuff like that. But here it's actually, I think the commentary, I guess not one commentary in particular, but in general, all of them, they kind of paint a picture of someone who takes the high road. Personally, I think that's what I'm getting from this, because I think if someone was easily provoked to anger, and just like someone who's very easily just like provoked, it's hard to take the high road, but here, as you said, it's someone who's more controlled, who's able to take the high road when there's opposition, or when someone's persecuting, or something unfair is happening. They're not just going to hit back,
Yeah.
they have like higher virtues than that. And that's really, I think that's way beyond the word weak. I'm actually curious, I don't know if you have another section, I don't know if you did the other section, but I'm curious to see how it was translated in the different translations.
Oh,
The word meek was translated a different way. That would be my question too, looking at these commentaries.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Nice observation, Jenny. And I did not include that part of what you did the first time, because I want us to share our impromptu thoughts about the meaning of this weakness out of different observations from these commentators.
Yeah, no
If
problem.
you will look at it, it's almost different from one another. So, Isha, would you like to share something, or should I say, should I share ahead of you?
Or you can go ahead.
Okay. Mine is that of Bengal, yield to the importunity. Yielding to importunity means the person is the person because of his mixed because of his mixed in his spirit, he is able to bear the demand from people over him, meaning whose status are more than his. Um, that's why in our time we can see it that they don't want people would not as much as possible show their being meekness or kind or gentle because the world look at it as a weakness and they don't want to be seen as a weak person and so they were trying to cover it or not show it either and
Mhm.
until they thought they could no longer do it. You know what I mean? Like what I read earlier. In the final end, they would it will show up that um, that weakness. So it's not really weakness in that part. And what's good in here is the people who are meek in spirit. They have that promise that they would inherit the earth. And so, looking when I had relatives who are rich, who are well off, and I know back in my home country, if you are well off, you try to not mingle with people. You try to just be secluded in one place, especially in your house or in other places where not much people will be there to harm you, to threat you. Even they are and, they have very few friends, you know. So they may have a lot of material possessions, but they don't inherit the earth because they're not enjoying actually the they don't have a normal social life, you know. They just go to the bar or somewhere else trying to find that kind of social life. They don't have it, and to inherit the earth means we can be we can be free, and unlike those who are uh, called masses, they are free. They can do anything, except except of course to buy expensive branded things. But they are able to go anywhere without anything. So to me, that's already a enjoyment of life here on earth, being free and free from thoughts of being harmed or something. People will harm you, rob you, or something like that. So that's my. Isha, you have something, or
Um, Not really.
okay. What about equanimity? You share something about calmness, and you are in yoga or something.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
earlier, Tisha mentioned calmness in
Yeah, yeah.
equanimity.
Oh yeah.
Maybe she has a thought on this calmness. It then we can proceed to the next one, the last part,
And
which
one
is
more comment.
yeah, reading exercises. Tisha, are you there?
I think maybe because of the confusion with the English word meek, then um, sometimes I have trouble understanding understanding in what circumstances, like I feel like for every virtue or adjective or like if someone like I don't have like a standard image in my mind for someone who's meek. You know, if I say someone is rich or someone is generous or someone's beautiful, then it's like I have like an image in my mind. But if I say
Oh.
someone is meek, like even here in the definitions or the interpretations, they're like opposing it to something else of indignation or anger. Um, yeah, I don't have like a good mental image of what that word means. And so sometimes when I read like Jesus says, "Blessed are the meek," then I'm like, in what circumstances can I be meek, or um, yeah, or what does it even mean for Jesus himself to be meek? Like I don't have a good mental image of that, I think.
Like,
It would be interesting to see how the Message translated that, because to my mind, I don't think that word is very often used these days.
Nisha, are you asking like what the word meek means in English, or what it means like as the
In-
commentators?
As in the Hebrew Bible. Like the original thought, not just the English definition.
Just like the original word.
Yeah.
Actually pretty interesting. I wonder if we could find I wonder if it's used in a different place, you know?
Yeah.
Thought.
So the Message translation of verse 5 is, "You're blessed when you're content with just who you are, no more, no less. That's the moment you find yourselves proud owners of everything that can't be bought."
It's very out there. I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
And again,
The message is kind of out there.
Message is, yeah,
I
you're
would
right.
say that's
So it uses
Yeah.
content instead of meek.
Yeah.
there's an element of that in there, but it's just, yeah,
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
quite different.
I would say
Oh,
you know, like a lamb, you know, kind of shy and not fighting back. I would say that's me. Someone who's quiet and shy.
yeah, soft spoken.
Yeah, soft spoken.
Yeah.
That's the way that I think about me.
I guess the image, like when you're talking about it, that's coming to mind is when I think Jesus is before Herod or Pilate, and then he doesn't respond to their accusations, and they're like, "You know, we can kill you, right?" Like, and then Jesus is like, "Not really," and he just kind of stands there quietly and like responds to a single question.
That's like a good observation.
I don't
think
know if
doesn't
that necessarily fits into like contentedness and composure, which I feel like maybe is more
I would
accurate.
go with this as inspired, but like I don't know if that is meek in the English language. 'Cause I'm just thinking about meek in the English language, just as English, as an English word, and the way that Jesus was before Herod and Pilate. Sure, he was quiet, but I wouldn't say he was meek.
that maybe that you stand your ground, but you don't use force. You're not.
That's not meek. I would say someone who's actually.
Like in the
So-
Proverbs, a gentle answer turns away wrath.
Yeah, so I'm looking at, like, I just Googled the meaning of meek, so this is in English. It means quiet, gentle, and easily imposed on, submissive.
Yeah, kind of weak, you know,
Yeah.
Wow.
like a pushover. Like you're actually pretty.
So
No?
that's a pretty different thought from
Yeah.
being content. Like it's like entirely
Yeah.
different.
Oh,
No, you're right. That message is pretty far out there. Yeah.
Well,
I was just, yeah, I don't know. I was just reading this or listening to a fairly vernacular German version of something, and I was sort of comparing it to that. So I confess that it was Hoffnung für alle, so hope for all.
Um,
Sanftmütig. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, yeah, I don't know what other kind of more. There's good news. I wonder what good news would say.
when I was doing my studies on this word, it was commented. Someone commented that this is the only word in the New Testament of meekness. That's why it cannot be compared to other Greek words in the New Testament. This is the only place it was used. That's why Isha, yeah, that's why the one that was quoted, similar to and yet not the same, the Psalm 37:11, because it has no it was not repeated in any other writings in the New Testament. This is the only one, and I think also in the Old Testament, because that's why they could not. It's so hard for them to compare exactly what it is. That's why from these notes gained from the commentaries, they presented differently, and yet they focused on one that symbolizes Christ as like a ship, or us like a ship, Christ like a lamb, and it's because the lamb or the sheep, they would not fight back, and even if things were taken from them, their their what do you call it? Their part taken from them, they would not complain, or they would not um, struggle. And even if they are led, just like Christ led to the slaughterhouse, they wouldn't even say a word. So that's the kind of meekness that Christ is, and we ought also to have. It's difficult, but it's there. We can do it by His grace. And there's a promise. The promise is we shall inherit the earth because of that meekness.
Are you saying that this Greek word, doesn't show up in any other place in the
Yes,
Bible?
yes, that's what I read from
Okay, alright.
yeah,
someone
I did a
commented
quick
that one.
search.
I don't remember who said it, but that I read that part. That's why you could not refer to, unlike your work, Jenny, you showed one reference on which word it was taken,
Uh-huh.
This word has nowhere to take comparison with. It was not repeated in any other writing.
That's really interesting, because
Yeah.
it sounds like a word that could be used more,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because only Jesus used this, and because people, like I said in my personal thought, people always think that meekness is weakness. So they would not, even anyone did not mention about weakness.
Okay. Oh, Keisha sent a link. Right. Let me take a look at this.
I don't know, maybe maybe I need to do a bit more research, but at least from the link it doesn't seem like that's the only
Oh, wait, where's Peter?
reference. Yeah, and if you look at Matthew 21 verse 5, I think
Ah,
it quotes Zechariah 9:9. So I'm not sure what the original Hebrew was, but at least it's when Jesus quotes it, he he translates that word as meek. The original Zechariah 9:9 would be, "Rejoice greatly, daughter Zion, shout, daughter Jerusalem. See, your king comes to you, righteous and victorious, lowly, and riding on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey." Actually, I think that's, I don't know, like at this point, I haven't given that much thought to it, but at this point, maybe that's a good picture for me to kind of think of what meek is when Jesus is literally riding on a donkey into Jerusalem, about to be executed. So on one hand, he could bring the kingdom there, or execute judgment on Jerusalem. But then, as he is getting paraded into Jerusalem, he's actually just on a donkey, and in fact, he's not going there to destroy it, but he's going there to give his life up for it. I don't know, it's still like a very, very complex thought, so
That sounds wonderful.
yeah.
I heard the tail end of that.
Based on the link that people sent, it looks like it's used in other places in the Bible, but it's the same kind of context, but it's used not as much as not as much. But still.
So, sorry, I was actually gone for part of that, but would it be like everyone expected Jesus to be a military leader or a political leader, and instead of that, he just comes riding into Jerusalem on a donkey,
Right.
and with the children, all around him, and of course, children in those days weren't seen as, they were actually second class citizens. They were, they really didn't have a lot to say. People didn't consider that they had a lot to say at all, So, like women, but the children, probably even more like, simpletons or something. And, but, like Jesus was a friend to women and children. The first ones to see his resurrection were the women, right? So, and those normally were, I think I read that they weren't even allowed to testify in court. People didn't believe their testimony. But for children, certainly they didn't think of them as being, having social status or anything. They were always sort of, anyway. So that people expected him to be a military leader or a political leader. And then also he was born, in a manger of all things, and that was pretty poor. Well, I guess you were talking about the closeness of, where does the meek being close to poor, that where the Brown commentary that said only the word which our evangelist renders the meek after the Septuagint is the same which we have found so often translated the poor, showing how closely allied these two features of character are. Then it says, impossible indeed that the poor in spirit and the mourners in Zion should not at the same time be meek. That's interesting. That's just to say persons of a lowly and gentle carriage. But that means just that you know that you don't know it all, that you know that you need to depend on God. That you know that you're nothing in yourself.
I had a thought on how to kind of reconcile the differences between the word meaning of the word meek in English and the meaning of the word meek in Hebrew, which may be like it's the word itself refers to someone's decisions or behavior or character under, like, in contrast or opposition to an opposing circumstance. So I guess in English maybe we think of it more in terms of an oppressor, or maybe not even an oppressor, just other people who are more dominant, versus in some of the commentaries, I think maybe that it's more in contrast to, like, instability in the world, or chaos, or just the world in general. Like, you're, like, instead of being hung up and worried and angry, you're content.
You appreciate what you have?
Yeah, like I'm trying to, like, reconcile why the two meanings are so different.
Yeah, I think you're onto something for sure. There's a way that that those two can be true at the same time, I think.
Sorry, Keisha, this is a stupid question. Was Matthew written in Hebrew?
Matthew's written in Greek.
Where are you finding it in Hebrew?
Ryan, right?
So Matthew 21 verse 5 quotes Zechariah 9:9. Zechariah was probably written in Hebrew.
Matthew 21 verse 5, and then what was it? Zechariah what?
Zechariah 9:9.
Thanks. Sorry, I stepped out for a minute. I don't think I...
Yeah, so the Hebrew is ani, lowly. He is lowly and riding on a donkey. Oh, but then that's interesting. Yeah, the word ani, according to Bible Hub, refers to, according to Strong's Concordance, is poor, afflicted, and humble. I'll send the link over. I don't know. I think I need to think a lot more about this.
For pointing that out.
And-
That's
and
just
also-
wonderful, that prophecy.
Yeah, I feel like it's not really a virtue or a character. Like all these beatitudes and Jesus says, "Blessed are these people." It's hard to think that Jesus actually is telling you to strive to become like that.
I have a comment, my Bible has a comment on that. Zechariah 9:9,
Uh-huh.
NIV. it says, see, your king comes to you, righteous and having salvation, gentle and riding on a donkey. So they translate it as gentle, and then the note says gentle means humble, and then it refers you to Isaiah 53, 2 and 3 and 7, and Matthew 11:29. Maybe those are two more verses to follow up on. And then riding on a donkey says it's a suitable choice since the donkey was a lowly animal of peace. Contrast the war horse of verse 10. So he says, I will take away the chariots from Ephraim and the war horses from Jerusalem, as well as a princely mount. And that refers you to Judges 10:4, 12:14, and 2 Samuel 16:2. Before the horse came into common use. Oh, well, interesting. So it's saying that the donkey was a lowly animal of peace, as well as a princely mount, before the horse came into common use. The royal mount used by David and his sons was the mule. 2 Samuel 18:9. So.
Oh. Very deep. Well, we're kind of running low on time, so maybe we should, I think maybe we can put a pin on that and think about it some more, and then let Leo finish the rest of what he read.
Yeah, that would be great. Leo.
Low on time. I want to make sure that Leo is able to present everything he wants to present.
Do we still have time?
Sorry about that, getting off on the war horses and donkeys, you know.
Oh,
No, that's good.
That was pretty deep.
Yeah, I like that one.
Go ahead, Leo.
Yeah, just to wrap up on this word of this verse 5 of Matthew 5. Like I said, I read somewhere that, and I believe it is as it is said. There's no equivalent word used in the New Testament for this meek. And other words, lowly, gentle, those are not exact words used for the meek. Jesus used in that verse. So I'll check where I read it, and yeah, I'll check where I read it, and I'll share it with you. So we close with that, and if we still have time, Jenny, do we still have time? Because the next one I would like to share with you is for us to have a reading exercise. I don't know if have you seen the whole chapter 5 of Matthew? The reason I presented this in all in Greek is because I want us, because personally I went into this Greek lesson with
you know, I like her attitude. Is it Stephanie is her name? I think. But I think she has a great idea of, you know, as you learn the letters, that you write them. You know, I mean, I didn't get all through it. I got through maybe 4 letters or something. But I like that she refers it to expressions, you know, that use those. You know, she teaches you little phrases, but you have to listen to it a couple of times to actually learn the phrase. And, you know, I think there's a lot of enthusiasm, which is wonderful. And does it go actually in 15 lessons, does go through the alphabet? Is that what it does? The whole thing takes about, 50 minutes or something like that? Does it? So, but you have to have patience, you know, I think. Because, you know, you'd be like, oh, you know, it's just like the English letter A, you know, and so you think, well, you know, why is she, you know, spending so much time on this one? The idea is really good, I think, to me, that learns sort of by in a way by if doing or visually more.
Yeah.
That you're writing them at the same time that you're learning them. And I think it would be really good if she explained those phrases a little bit more instead of rattling them off quite so fast. But
Yeah, I don't think we still have time. I don't want to get much of your time. Tell
I
me,
might have to soon.
I just want to encourage everyone to try to read Matthew 5 o- um, all in Greek by yourself. And the reason why is I really want to read the New Testament in Greek, finish it in Greek. And the only thing is like what I shared with Tisha last week. I I observed the babies growing up. They learn the language not because of the grammar,
Uh-huh.
but because they hear it, they spoke it, and by they come to uh, um, and enlarge their vocabulary of understanding. So mine is since I'm very particular with most of these books. Every time I would be reading this and in Greek, then I would get the confidence that I'm the confidence of the letters, the words, and of reading it on myself and listening from other sources how how words are pronounced. So by and by, I would like to see myself continuing on with it. That's why I thought maybe I should challenge the um, the group of uh, going out of trying to understand each passage by the word used, like what we did. Um, we can also get an exercise of reading other um, just reading the book or just reading the Bible, the New Testament in Greek.
Ah,
Yeah, the baby, the little ones, they learn to use the language beyond knowing the first before learning the grammar.
question, is the modern Greek pretty similar to the ancient Greek?
This is the Bible. This is
very
New
good.
Testament time Greek.
Because that video that, of course, you gave us was modern Greek.
Yeah, modern Greek. Yeah, that's good because you are able to you are able to notice it. They're using the modern Greek and yeah.
Um,
And
so there is a fair amount of, or enough similarity
I,
that it's
I think
worthwhile to study it. Yeah.
they were saying um, sometimes I would hear from one of the teachers that this is this is from the old and this is the modern one, but not often. So yeah, you're right. This is a modern version of the Greek.
I was trying to listen to the U version. Um, the there is a reading out loud version of the U version in the Greek, and I would, so I looked up Matthew and then had it start to read it to me,
Yeah,
but you would, I mean, it went pretty fast, but
yeah. That's why. Yeah, yeah. That's what I noticed. They say it fast. Um, they as if they are missing some words, some letters, but I think it's the natural way of saying it.
listen to it enough, you could get used to it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But so you just no, I think it's great. You know, I mean that it's so you wanted us to read the whole chapter in Greek. Is that what you wanted? Yeah.
Yeah, just for us, if we have not done it yet, just for us to see, oh, why am I doing this? What what good is doing me? Am I interested, or should I just focus on the grammar and the word and how it is used, what it means when it was written, or when Jesus or um, the apostles say those words?
I caught a little bit of that. I'm just not sure I caught a whole lot. So
Yeah, yeah, I know you're busy also in
sorry because you know
Hebrew.
there's static and stuff.
Yeah, I think we can read the Matthew on our own. It might take a while too if we're not familiar with it.
Mhm.
We're definitely running out of time today.
Yeah,
So I think, yeah, we should make sure that we got the date for the next meeting down.
So,
Actually, oh, go ahead.
that was just. Try. So, other words, try to read it on your own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we should do it on our own. And
Yeah.
if you really want us to practice, Leo, maybe the next time around when you're presenting, you can bring it back, you know? And maybe we could start a little earlier so there's enough time to cover it.
oh, my purpose is just reading exercise, and we'll give 5 minutes each if we have time. And for 5 minutes, we check, oh, how fast, how many verses were I able to finish reading Greek in 5 minutes, just to check how we are improving somewhere.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's the purpose of reading exercises.
Yeah.
No one will finish the whole chapter 5 in 5 minutes. But just for us, for fun, oh, I'm reading it. So next time, if we have these reading exercises again, then maybe we're much faster or something like that.
Hmm.
We can gauge ourselves how
Okay.
we are improving in reading Greek.
Yeah.
That's the purpose of it. And if you find it interesting, oh, I want to learn more. I want to be more comfortable reading Greek. Then that's something. That's something. And if someone would find it, oh, it's difficult, it's hard for me. Maybe it's good for someone to plan whether how we would improve, how the person would improve in reading Greek or find it enjoyable reading.
Yeah, I see. So it's just a reading exercise. I think
Yeah,
we can definitely do that on our own when we have time.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, I was thinking,
yeah. So I end my presentation with
yeah, I think the making us think about the word meek was really interesting.
Yeah.
Because I feel like now I need to understand it more, actually.
Yeah.
I think I might have to look into it more. But I was thinking, so the next meeting should be, the original meeting was planned for 2 weeks from now, August 6th. But actually, August 6th, I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be at a conference in Cleveland.
oh,
I was thinking, well, we don't have to change the meeting for me or anything. But do you guys want to have the meeting 2 weeks from now at the original date, or do you want to push it back to 3 weeks? Up to Keisha, actually, because Keisha's the one who's presenting according to the schedule.
In favor of pushing it back.
The back? Sure. Yeah, we have the 3 week gap. I mean, I'll be here too. The internet's not going to be very good. So I think I'm going to be at Ashwoods. I don't get internet. So I'm probably not going to be able to join. So let's do August. In that case, let's do August 13th
Sounds
for our
good.
next one. Yeah. Also, I just want to say, acknowledge the effort that Keisha made to put links on our welcome document for all the documents. That is real. I didn't even know that you could do that.
Yeah,
And that is incredibly helpful.
yeah,
Welcome.
Incredibly helpful.
On the welcome document,
Yes, our welcome document now has links to every, I think Keisha went through and made links to all the documents that we presented each week
yeah.
on the table. It's so good. It's so helpful. I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah.
great, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's really good. Oh, and Keisha just sent an invite to the next one. So August 13th is up our document with it. And yeah, Keisha's presenting next time. Very much looking forward to that because Keisha always has something pretty intense.
I have no idea what I'm going to present on.
I'm sure, even if she went back and just presented what you had before, like, so no pressure.
I thought that was really interesting, getting into Zechariah 9:9.
Yeah, so much. Yeah, especially with Caroline, you had a section in your Bible with all of those notes that went really deep. I wonder if, Caroline, you could send an email to us with that, because I think Leo also mentioned he wanted to look into it. I don't know if you could type that up for us and send it in an email.
I could take a photo of it, or
Yeah, you can take a photo, or I guess you could just type it in an email. I don't know which one is quicker.
I should try to do that now.
Yeah, because I think Leo also mentioned looking into it, and I'm pretty interested. I didn't catch all the references that you mentioned.
So yeah, this is great. The section is entitled "The Coming of Zion's King," and then I wrote somewhere beside there, "See Luke 19." That was just my note. And if you actually read that whole kind of section, that might be very rich, because it compares, what the Messiah is supposed to do, and compares it to war. I mean, it gives you a personality of the Messiah.
Yeah.
So let's see. 9:9. This could take a little while.
No rush, Caroline. You can do it whenever you have the time. But I think we should finish our meeting for now, because we're definitely way over our time.
Or if you guys want, I can read I'll send it.
Yeah.
Or the references, just the references if you like.
Yeah, no rush. Yeah, just the references. No rush, but we just whenever you have the time. But I think we definitely need to wrap it up now. And we'll come back again together in 3 weeks from now.
Oh, and if you're in Cleveland, you could look me up when we could go to coffee.
Oh, I mean, I don't have a car. I'm gonna be flying there, and I'm gonna hitch a ride to Ashland Woods. So I don't know if I can leave Ashland Woods without a car.
Ashland Woods?
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
For you. How long are you staying there?
Just for a week. The conference is a week.
The college conference?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a college conference, but anyway, I was invited to go. They said that
Have
I
a
was
wonderful time.
not too old.
Ashland Woods is such a great place.
Yeah, I think could be a pretty good opportunity. I don't know if later on in the winter it'll start getting not so good to travel anymore. So I think I will take my chance to travel. Okay.
Such a peaceful place, and it's so wonderful to be with the saints,
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I actually miss. It's a shame that the saints from Canada can't come because the border is closed.
Yeah.
So I'm really missing the Saints from Canada.
But so the Canadians still can't come over here? Is that what the?
Oh, no, it's been a year and a half. The border's been closed for a year and a half.
I heard somewhere that in August the borders will be opening from here into Canada because my brother-in-law has a place in Canada.
Oh, yes. From here to Canada, it's open.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, wait.
Only if they are vaccinated.
Yeah, but not from Canada to the U.S.
That's just too bad.
It's only one way. It's a one-way opening for now.
Are you from Canada again?
Yeah, I'm a Canadian.
Where do you come from?
I'm from Montreal.
Yeah.
Praise
Yeah.
the Lord.
My brother's from Canada, and I grew up there. So, and I'm very, very close to the Saints there. So it's a shame that I can't see them this time around. Hopefully, sure.
Were you with those Montreal believers who came over to church in Toronto years back?
I mean, I wasn't in Montreal my whole life. I went to Montreal for university.
Oh,
I wasn't there. I was in a different place before that.
oh. Because I remember some of the young adults from Montreal, they came over at
I
church
might
in
know some of
Toronto.
them though. I might know some of them.
Um,
Yeah. Anyways, let me say good night.
Good night.
And any longer. Yeah.
Great.
I'll come back in 3 more weeks and look forward to whatever Keisha has.
Yeah.
Say a little prayer.
Yes, of course.
Lord, just thank you for the gathering of the saints, Lord, and that you are the head of your church,
Mm.
and that you led us to these wonderful discoveries of your character. And we just pray that that our minds and our hearts will be open as we learn more of you and gain more of you.
Mm.
In Jesus' name.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.
Night, saints.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.